Okay, I'm back with part 2 of the review of the Dirt Devil Lift and Go vacuum. Again, like I said, I'm doing this because I wanted to do a thorough review of the Lift and Go and what I think of it and what I like about it, what I don't like about it. Because I feel like there's not too many good decent reviews where it's very, very thorough. I feel it's kind of lacking. Some will say, they'll praise its canister features or, its canister features, but they don't give enough, enough info. Like, okay, how well does it clean? And I watched a CNET video of it called, from CNET. That's the tech website that, reviews techy stuff. And they both kind of bash the Lift and Go and the Dash vacuum, which is its bigger cousin, not without the canister, which is with the Dash is the other vacuum. Also relatively affordable. It's a little bit bigger than this, and it also has the swipes attachment along with it. This one is just a lift away knockoff. All the vacuums, both the Lift and Go and the Dash, and there's actually a hard floor stick vac version of the Vac and Dust thing. It uses a head kind of like this, but it's actually a full size unit, where it's actually a stick vacuum for bare floors. There's a cord and cordless version. Check it out at Walmart. So, anyway, but back to this. I'm going to go over the rest of what I like about it. You've seen how the Lift and Go can convert into a canister. You've also seen why I praise its dual cycle technology. I also praise how the attachments are set up. The other little advantage I like is that this thing is what they call direct path technology. Now, direct path is really it's just a fancy way of saying it has a center suction path. Most vacuums, especially the Navigator Lift-Away and the Navigator Lift-Away Professional, both of those have a suction path that's off to the side. Usually to the vacuum left side, like this. They're off to the side, and so dirt's supposed to go into the side part and then up the hose into the vacuum. A lot of vacuums actually do use that, utilize that kind of design. And there's people that complain that it doesn't have, those vacuums don't have even cleaning. One side may be really clean while the other side is really barely touched. Sorry, I'm dealing with heartburn, so that's why I'm gulping a lot. But this vacuum here has a center suction path, so all the dirt, so you get what they call edge-to-edge cleaning. No, this thing doesn't go true edge cleaning. It doesn't have edge cleaning on both sides, like say a Dyson would. I'll explain that a little bit later too. But from the brush roll to one end of the brush roll, the other end of the brush roll, it's supposed to, I would think, give you even airflow distribution, and so that kind of helps a little bit. But I do like that, and plus I like the fact that it's kind of, has the signature red color, of Dirt Devil. It's a stylish looking vacuum. Of course, you saw the filter, and the pre-motor filter in here. In case you haven't, here it is. This filter is washable. I would say at most once a month, or at least once a month, because the filter can get dirty a little bit, so it's better to clean it once a month. There's also a HEPA filter in here. This is a brand new filter. They call it HEPA. And of course, HEPA traps 99.97% of all particles down to 0.3 microns in size. That is the HEPA standard. If they say 99.9%, either they're a typo, or either they don't know the true standard, either a little bit off from what they say the actual standard is, or it's not HEPA. There's ones that say HEPA type. Those are not HEPA. They may look like this, like a HEPA filter, kind of like, PLEA design, but they're not that rated efficiency. They're not bad, but they're not HEPA efficiency, which is one of the best kinds of filtration you get. And this is great for people who have asthma or allergies, or maybe someone, like me, who just likes to have clean air coming out of the vacuum. I don't want to have dusty, musty, dusty smell coming out of it, and then having to dust the furniture or whatever, something like that. And you may notice that this doesn't have, the filter itself doesn't have a seal, but the vacuum, but in here, there is a rubber gasket. So it is sealed. There is a rubber gasket. It's not, it's not completely, bare. So kind of fits in like that. Pick this up, and of course it says HEPA media, and of course it says rinsable filter. This filter is rinsable. Something you see on the Shark Liftways, and on Dysons too. The Dysons also have rinsable filters. Rinsable, or washable, whatever you call them, washable, reusable filters. So is this. Dirt Devil claims to replace the filters every 6 months, though in my personal opinion, as long as they're clean, as long as you keep them clean, you probably won't have to replace them, for a long time. At most, maybe a year or two, maybe a few years. Give it a few years, maybe after a few year period, then get a new set of filters. I don't know. Who knows? The filters might actually run that good. But that is some of the advantages. Like I said, it's lightweight, and it actually does clean well. It actually does pick up dirt, unlike what the CNET reviewer says. The guy, and I don't know his name, but I've seen the review about maybe a handful of times, maybe 3-4 times. I think 3 times. And the guy makes it look like this thing sounds like it's just a toy. And it's not really a toy. It actually does have decent suction power. It really does have decent suction power to it. And it has a motorized brush roll. The brushes aren't super ultra stiff, but they're stiff, like they're not firm, super ultra aggressive like you expect in some of the other vacuums, but they're not super soft either. So so they'll do a decent job on carpeting. So it should do a decent job on carpeting. When I ran over the carpet with this, it sounded like it was grooming the carpet, and actually vacuumed a couple of the rugs here at Jog Board. We have red team, blue team rugs, and they actually did make groom lines. They groomed the carpet pretty, the rugs pretty well, and made them nice and clean. But that is some of the advantages of the Dirt Devil that I can think of. If I think of any more, I will let you know. So that's the advantages. Now, as of course with every vacuum, there are disadvantages. No vacuum's perfect. Sorry. There's no such thing as the perfect vacuum. There's not going to be the one single vacuum that's going to solve everyone's needs, that does everything, that a customer wants. There's always going to be advantages and disadvantages with this vacuum. Just like that one has advantages and disadvantages. Like this one has disadvantages that the Bissell can fill in, and that has disadvantages that this vacuum can fill in. But anyway, there's some some of the disadvantages of this vacuum, or one thing that the guy noted was, of course, that I've noticed too, is that it seems like the hose, connection here and the cord, connection or base of the cord, they seem to try to occupy the same spot. and I'm not sure if you can see it, if you see it very well. But they kind of try to occupy the same spot. And that kind of makes it hard, gets the cord mixed around, with the hose, a little bit, or vice versa. So it's a little bit of a disadvantage, a little bit of a mishap there. While most of the attachments are on board, while the combo tool and the turbo head are also be on board, the swipes head, or the vac and dust head, doesn't have a place on board. So it's orphaned. So it's basically my best suggestion is if you store this in a vase, store the swipes head with it. Store it right near the vacuum. If you have to, put it in a bag and store it with the vacuum, so that way it's kind of on board. You don't want to lose this, okay? And I'll tell you why you don't want to lose this. Let me flip this over. Hang on a second. Okay, you can see here I have the brush, I can have the vacuum kind of flipped over. There, that'll do. I have the vacuum flipped over, and you can see here, it looks like it's a nice brush roll. Well, one of the disadvantages is that this here doesn't have, they call it edge-to-edge cleaning, but it doesn't really have a good edge pickup, edge cleaning pickup. It has no edge pickup at all at the edges. So you pretty much have to use, the crevice tool to get a decent edge cleaning. And while I said the brush, here's the brush roll. While this brush roll is motorized, the brush roll can't be shut off. There's not really a way. There's no shut off switch for the brush roll here. For this vacuum. Now, Navigators, they do have a brush roll switch. I've seen, I've used one before, trying one out here, and they do have a brush roll switch. This one does not have a brush, roll switch, so basically, if you're putting this in the upright position, it's going to be spinning the whole time. Unless you put it in the upright position, then it'll shut off. Or if you have it in a canister mode, where you have this head hooked up to the wand, it will not run. But also, another big disadvantage is this brush roll can't be removed. Now, why that is, I don't know. It actually kind of confuses me too, because this brush roll has a rod going through it, and because of that, the brush roll can't be taken out and cleaned out. And so I guess it'd be very difficult to get into the belt. I'm not sure if you could get into the belt, or if you have to have a vacuum, an authorized Royal dealer or authorized Dirt Devil dealer take care of the brush. But that kind of disadvantage is kind of, and I don't use this. So if I use this on bare floors, I'll use a swipes tool, in which pretty much at that point you pretty much use a swipes tool. The canister kind of came off. Little mishap. Here, let me put this here. I'll talk here, if you can hear me. The reason, since the brush roll can't be turned off for cleaning, for cleaning your carpets, bare floors, you have to use the swipe tool. And some people might find that to be, some people might be okay with that. They might prefer the swipes tool with it. Some might not. Some might just, would like to have the convenience of being able just to shut the brush off and go over the floors and cleaning, whatever it is they need to clean their bare floors. But this is pretty much, which would have been considered a nice option if you can turn the brush roll off, is pretty much like, this is like one of the standard attachments that if you're cleaning bare floors with this, you will fucking need it. So don't lose this. What else I can say? I know there are reviews that some say that it doesn't pick up very well. The guy, the reviewer, the people who reviewed this vacuum, noted its difficulty in picking up pet hair. Apparently, it struggles with pet hair. I don't know if that's the case. Like they showed pet hair, and apparently there was still pet hair on the carpet even after vacuuming. I'm not sure if that's exactly the case. If that is the case, then that's okay. I do have a vacuum that will take care of pet hair, if need be. If I have trouble with pet hair, then I have something to back it up. Like I said, but other than that, what did I say about the Lift and Go? I'd say it's a decent vacuum. I personally I do find it easy to use. I do find it fun to use. I like its features. I like the fact, and it feels like it's well built, so it doesn't feel like it's super ultra cheap. They give it a 3-year warranty, and so that's something important, in my opinion. Because, usually you don't find 3-year warranties on vacuums much. So even 3 years is still pretty decent. So 3-year warranty on this, I'm, confident that it should last, that I shouldn't have any problems with it, at all, throughout the time that I've used this. So yeah, Dirt Devil Lift and Go, I'd say give it a shot. I'm not saying it's the greatest vacuum in the world that everyone should buy it. But I'm not saying it's a piece of shit. It's not a piece of shit either. This is I'd say it's a decent vacuum to buy. It's relatively inexpensive. So if you can't afford to lift away, but maybe you're looking for a cost-friendly alternative to lift away, the Lift and Go might be a decent option. There's also the Bissell Lift Off, but I've used a little bit, but that if you're an allergy sufferer, I'd steer clear of that because it's not very well sealed. But anyway, for a lift away imitation, for basically a Dirt Devil imitation of a Shark Navigator lift away, this doesn't do too bad. I like it. I would believe, maybe for somebody, if you go to Walmart, you'll find this at Walmart. Give it a shot. It's $118, maybe $120. Not very expensive at all. So I'd say give it a shot. Try it. If you don't like it, you can always return it to Walmart. And you can keep using your vacuum. But I would keep this. I'm keeping this. I don't expect any problems with it, but if I do have problems, at least I'll know that Dirt Devil, I can call Dirt Devil, and maybe they'll help me out with this. But I really don't think, but like I said, I think as long as I take good care of it, I don't think it will give me any problems. And I think that's why some vacuums, maybe to buy vacuums, people complain that their today's vacuums don't last very long. And it's probably because, people don't always take good care of them. They forget to change filters, or they forget to clean the filters, or they forget to change the bag. I'm kind of more meticulous about this because I'm kind of a nerd of it, vacuum nerd. I've been a vacuum nerd since I was a baby. So I'm pretty meticulous. I like taking care of these. And so I figure as long as I give this good maintenance, as long as I keep everything clean and in good order, this should last, a good long time. So feel free to rate, comment, subscribe. I hope this review, has been informative for you. Again, thanks for my new phone. It's also clearer now, and it sounds clearer than it did, would do if I used the old phone, which was a piece of crap compared to this one. But anyway, Please feel free to rate, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, about this vacuum, feel free to post on my page. I will try to find the questions if I can. If I can't, I will, then, I will try to route you to someone who can answer your questions. As always, so I'm going to get off here, and you guys have an awesome weekend.